Welcome back. The diversity movement in literature is nothing new. Readers and writers have advocated for making space for marginalized voices in literature, ensuring that every reader sees themselves represented in books. Joining us now to discuss Latinx Pitch are Mariana Llanos, co-founder of Latinx Pitch, and Jorge Lacera, author and illustrator at Studio Lacera. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
So first, for those who are not familiar, Mariana, can you give us some background on Latinx Pitch and your mission there?
Yes, so we are a group of authors and illustrators from, who live in the United States, but are from diverse communities. I'm Peruvian, for example. And we got together because we wanted to boost representation. We write children's literature, we illustrate children's literature. And we thought that we needed to take the bull by its horns, like we say in Spanish, el toro por las astas, and say, hey, we're here. So, yes.
Thank you for the background. And Jorge, why was it important for you as an illustrator to join this cause as well?
Well, I think it's important for all Latinx voices to be represented as much as possible. And that's also, that speaks to illustration as well as writing. I think it's awesome when we can get writers and illustrators together to share our different backgrounds. So that's important to me.
What are some of the challenges that Latino and Latina writers face in the publishing world, for instance?
I think some of the challenges, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mariana.
Okay, so, well, what I think is that we hear all the time that our stories are needed, that children want to see themselves in stories, we see that. But when time comes, we hear that children won't relate to this, or children won't read stories set in other countries, or we are told that we're different, and that doesn't sell. And so we want to prove them wrong, so yeah, we do a lot of things that are different, perhaps, of the preconception, but in essence, we're all the same.
And you have your daughter there. I would like to hear what Alana thinks about that. How do you feel about representation in books that have characters that look and speak like you?
Well, I really like reading books that like have a lot of imagination and like show kids how to use their imagination and how to explore different parts of themselves.
Right. And you like books that have words in Spanish as well, or some?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. So can you each tell us about the types of books that you write and the importance of the representation and language accessibility? Mariana, you just mentioned that as well.
Yes, well, I'll go ahead, but yes, well, I write all kinds of stories. That's one thing that we Latino people, Latinx people, we don't have one type of story. We have many stories, and we write in different genres too. So, but the most common for me, at least, is to write with my heart. There's a lot of heart on my stories, and I use Spanish, or sometimes I write bilingual stories. I write them in English, and then I rewrite my story in Spanish. So I like using both languages and using part of my own life in the story, because I think that kids like that. They like something that is authentic.
And for you, Jorge?
Yeah, for me, the types of stories, as Mariana said, there's a lot of stories to tell in a lot of different ways. For me, what's important for representation is to show stories that show the Latino community in the United States as, much more than just stories that deal with, immigration or poverty. These are major issues that our community deals with, and those books are really important. But, our book that I co-wrote with my wife, Megan Lacera, and I also illustrated, is called Zombies Don't Eat Veggies. It's about a mixed family that speaks Spanish in the household, but they happen to be zombies. And it's a fun story. There's lots of humor and puns in it. And I think that's sort of the kind of stories that I think are also important to have out to represent in the community.
I love that. And so on last week, actually, September 15th, you held an event called Latinx Pitch. And this took place all day on Twitter. Mariana, can you give us more information about that?
Well, Latinx Pitch was our effort to bring our writing community together. And like I said, to show that we are here. Actually, our event started because we read a quote by someone who said that there are not enough Latinx writers. And we wanted to prove that wrong as well. We are here, we are writing. And so that was the response. And we've had many, many people participating with great stories in all genres. Even we writers who have agents like myself and Jorge, and other writers in our group who have agents are participating, and other writers who do not have agents are participating too. So we wanted to make it inclusive. We don't want to make something elitist that only a few people can participate. No, we want everybody to be there. We wanted everybody to be there, and we did it. We did it actually, and there were lots of editors and agents hungry for our stories.
Right. And now that we're all living in this virtual realm, they have more access to connecting with other people across the nation. Also, like more people can join in since it's virtually through Twitter that they can pitch these stories and hopefully gain some exposure. Since you said there are plenty of Latinx writers out there, as opposed to what that quote said, no? I also wanted to ask just about a quote that you said, Mariana, in the past, about writers becoming travel agents for children through writing. Can you tell us a little bit more about what this means?
Of course, when I visit schools with this book, it's called Kutu, the Tiny Inca Princess, and it takes children to the Inca Empire 500 years ago. So I like to tell kids in those visits that books are also time machines. So we as writers have that ability to be travel agents. We can make children travel in time. We can make them travel to other cultures, other countries, especially in times like this, right, where we can't barely leave our house, or in any other times that it's so hard to travel. So we have the responsibility to show children the world and to show them that the world is bigger than they think. And when you see things that are different, that you think are different, you realize that you have more in common than you think.
That is
absolutely. Yeah, I think that also telling your own story allows children particularly it fuels their imagination. And I think that's one of the wonderful things about the Latinx community in the United States and in in the world, is that we come from so many different diverse backgrounds that it also creates an opportunity for kids to expand that sort of imagination of what the world is like.
Absolutely. And Alana, I wanted to ask you, what have books meant to you during these times? We've been in quarantine for so long. Have you felt like happy reading books during this time? Have they helped you through these times?
Yeah, because I like to explore my imagination a lot in books and to see different parts of me that can see the world, and I can travel back in time too.
I love that. And you have your mom right there. She's an author, so you can just grab a book and read it whenever, right? That's such a right there.
And we do lots of trips to the library as well, so we come back with stacks of books. So yeah, that's super fun always.
Yes, and both of your books are like for la familia, right? Para la familia is family oriented, so people can read it together with their children and their families. So I think they're both very wonderful books. Where can people find out more about each of your books and perhaps purchase them and support you as well during these times?
Well, they can find my books on everywhere they find books, on Amazon, on bookshop.org. Or they can go to my website, marianallanos.com, but find us on Twitter too, and we're there, and we love interacting with teachers, parents, and everybody who wants a little bit more than just the book, and they want also a little bit of background of the story and all that.
Yeah, and you can find out more about Zombies Don't Eat Veggies at our website, which is studiolacera.com, and we have links to where you can purchase the book there. The book is also available on Storyline Online. Jaime Camille did a wonderful reading of it in both English and Spanish, and it comes with resources for teachers and educators. And we also have a song, Zombies Don't Eat Veggies song, that you can find also on our website.
Amazing. And one more thing, before schools open up, I know that it's also important to diversify our reading selections and the literary realm in schools. Can you talk a little bit more about that? The fact that schools can also integrate more culturally relevant stories into their literature.
Yes, we hope to inspire librarians and teachers to find more books by Latinx writers. They can, if they need to do this, they can go on Twitter. There are many teachers on Twitter and follow, like I said, Latinx Pitch. And so they can have an idea of what authors to find and where to find it. But I think it's so important that we incorporate our culture, not only during Hispanic Heritage Month or Latinx Heritage Month, but all throughout the year. And actually, I wanted to speak about the Congressional Hispanic Caucus that is doing a great job in Congress, bringing up the issue of representation for in movies, in publishing, in all of these industries. So it is teamwork. It is teamwork. It's not only about us writers writing Latino stories, it's or publishers publishing Latino stories. It's also about teachers requesting these books, about librarians requesting these books, and about parents supporting the people who are creating this kind of works for you.
Thank you so much, Mariana. Jorge, thank you for joining us today, and Alana, of course, as well. Before we go, how can people learn more and join the cause at Latinx Pitch? And please leave us with a message to Latinx writers and aspiring young writers.
Go ahead, Jorge.
So you can find us on Twitter at Latinx Pitch. And you can also check out the event and all the wonderful book deals and agents that were reaching out at hashtag Latinx Pitch, so LATINXPITCH. And in terms of messaging, I would say keep writing, keep drawing. The world needs your stories, so please don't stop and there's a community of folks out here who are excited and eager to hear what you have to say.
Thank you both again for your time, and what a wonderful way to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, folks, you can visit and follow at Latinx Pitch on Instagram and Twitter, and visit their website at latinxpitch.wordpress.com. That's all for our show today. Thank you for tuning in to BXRX. I'm your host, Sonyi Lopez, wishing you and your family safety and wellness now and always.